You know, this question of slow growth seems to have had some political impact here already. We saw it in a new Wall Street Journal NBC News poll this week, in which we had President Obama's job approval slipping again. This is 4 straight months in which it's dropped since the sugar high of the re-election came about, and it's down below 50%. It's 47%. 48% disapprove, and it's hard not to see that, David, as a result of a kind of a creeping economic insecurity that seems to be coming back a little bit at least.
Right. I'm not sure it ever really went away.
Yeah, maybe.
I mean, 61% of the people in our poll think the country's on the wrong track. It's been hovering around that for some time. And I was kind of startled when we asked people, do you think you have economic pressures to make ends meet? 68% said it was a very serious problem, and 16% said it was a fairly serious problem. And I think it's understandable. We've been through a terrible recession and a recovery where there's been no wage increases. So you heard the president talking about that. While he puts together his budget, and for one set of people it's all about responsibility and deficit reduction, he's talking a lot about jobs and making America work for the middle class. So I think it's a problem. The first quarter growth is going to come in pretty good, probably over 3%. But in a survey the Wall Street Journal does of economists, which is just out, they expect it to slow down in the second quarter. So
the stocks are at record highs. I mean, housing's bouncing back. Why aren't people feeling better about that?
Well, I think that stocks and houses are an important factor in why things aren't worse. Mm-hmm. In fact, the private sector is looking a little better. Stocks reflect the fact that corporate profits are well. Hiring is coming back relatively slowly. Low interest rates mean people are buying houses and buying cars. The big minus in the economy is actually the government. Right. Either the tightening of fiscal policy, raising taxes and cutting spending, or the uncertainty tax, as Bill McNabb from Vanguard called it.
What's remarkable about this, though, is that people are supportive of the president's priorities, and we're seeing that because Congress is pushing background checks on guns, Congress is pushing immigration. These are obviously big priorities for the president, and they have big public support. And even that, even that can't overcome the feelings people have just about the state of the economy and how that carries over into their blame.
That's a really good point, because that's why it looks like this is an economic effect. Because if you ask about the issues that we've been talking about, people are pretty much on the president's side on these things, but there's still this feeling we're not so comfortable, and that's got to be economic overhang. It's a little of that sort of European there's not enough growth here feeling.